Crying in autism parent. This comment was left on a video where I was talking about getting fiber from supplements versus whole foods, and that it's preferable from a gut microbiome perspective to get at least most of your fiber from food and not supplements. But look, that recommendation is on average. I say on average a lot in my videos, but let me explain what I mean by that. When we look at the data in scientific studies that help to determine the healthiest overall eating patterns, for example, we're typically looking at a very large number of people, hopefully representing a wide cross-section of the population. And then what these studies do is they do sophisticated statistical analysis, comparing one group to another on average. Now, lots of additional factors are accounted for in these statistical analyses. Typically age, sex, race and ethnicity, BMI, socioeconomic status or proxies of that like education, and then typically other things that would impact health like alcohol consumption, smoking status, activity level, and other diet factors other than the one that's being looked at. So on average means on average in the literal mathematical sense that this data comes from averages. But also there's always statistical outliers. There's always exceptions. There's always people who are not well represented by the average. And I use the term on average as a permissive statement to take or leave the information I'm sharing because it might not apply to you. My oldest daughter had sensory processing disorder, and as a toddler and young child, she had really strong sensory aversions to foods. And for a long time, there was 7 or 8 different foods she would eat. Most of it room temperature, bland, and mushy. And before we discovered that non-celiac gluten sensitivity was causing chronic constipation, she was on Miralax for a couple years. And it didn't matter how much you told me getting her to eat more fruits and vegetables would fix things. It was not applicable to her. We were just struggling to get enough calories in. So while I don't have the same life experience that you do, I do have similar enough that I can at least somewhat relate, especially to the bombardment of completely useless, unsolicited parenting advice and nutrition generalizations based on the averages that don't apply. In fact, I could say that's the main message. It's always preferable to get our nutrients from foods. But there's many situations and reasons for that not being possible and supplementation being required.